Hey guys, Jim Edwards here, along with my good buddy Stu Smith.
Hello, sir, and everybody. How are you?
And we are doing something different today because for those of you who don't know, Stu and I have a podcast called the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks Podcast. We've been doing it for over a year. We're on episode 61, and normally we record them and then we post them. And I'm mildly annoyed right now. So I called up Stu and I said, hey, dude, let's go live on my profile and do our podcast and talk about some stuff. So those of you who don't know, right now we're in the middle of I like this one's the best, social distancing.
Self-quarantine.
Yeah, self-quarantine, self-distancing. Some people are mandatory quarantine and all this other stuff. And I'm not mildly annoyed at the disease. I'm
Take it seriously. Don't get sick. I hate getting sick anyway. So right. it screws up weeks of life.
Exactly. So I am taking it seriously. I'm not diminishing the importance of it. I'm not deprecating. Ooh, have you deprecated in public, Stu? I have. It's a good way to get in a fight if you deprecate on someone. But what I did this morning, I just got frustrated because I see people that are like not taking it seriously, and I see people that are freaking out and going nuts, and it's like the end of the world and stuff. And so I don't want to talk about any of that.
Nope.
Don't want to talk about any of that. If you want to talk about that, go look at the news if you want that. But what I do want to talk about is that everybody's in the same boat. Everybody pretty much is going to be told in one shape, one way or another, that you're going to have to sit at home for a while. You're not going to be able to go do things that you had been doing. And there's a few things that you could do that I think would be really stupid, which is to sit around and be a whiny little punk about the fact that you're home doing this. I think that's a
waste of time.
Yeah. Number one thing you should not be doing. So this morning when I did my Facebook Live, when I was letting the chickens out, I asked my followers, what's the most productive thing that you could do right now if you were quarantined? And I just want to share those, and I want us to discuss them.
Well, first of all, you had 4, and then you left the 5th open for crowdsourcing.
That is true.
Great idea and great way to crowdsource stuff, folks. You're also learning something on this podcast as well.
That's a great point.
I did the same thing. I crowdsourced.
Yeah.
What are you doing now that you can't go to a gym or a pool? Did the exact same thing, wrote a great article on it, going to do another YouTube live, Instagram live on it later. Great source of content.
Absolutely. I would love to take credit for you basically saying I did something smart, because I was so discombobulated. I thought I'd given 5 things and didn't realize that I intimated that I can't come up with a 5th one. So you guys fill it in for me.
I wrote them down. I was like, this is good stuff.
So thank you for that. So what I want to do, I just want to share and discuss some of these. Okay. So, it's basically, if you're in quarantine, if you're self-quarantined, or especially as an entrepreneur, you might, well, I ain't quarantined, but I can't go see anybody. So I guess I'm quarantined, or I can't go out and prospect. I can't go out and sell
Everything's
door to
closed.
door. Everything's closed.
Like
Netflix,
a snowstorm.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a snowstorm without the snow. That's a great way of looking at it, Stu.
Yeah.
It's a snowstorm without the snow. So let's look at some of the things that people suggested that we do in lieu of it. So the first one, Gabrielle says, cook all the recipes that I've been wanting to try and catch up on gardening and start spring cleaning. Holy cow.
Great time to do it.
That is a great time to do it. And, one of the things, the reason this one resonated with me is that we started Weight Watchers again. So we've started doing prep cooking on Sundays. And let me tell you what, even if you ain't on Weight Watchers, prep cooking on Sundays really makes the rest of the week really nice, because you not spending 2 hours at night getting dinner ready and you're not eating crap you're not supposed to. Pete Schneider says, write a book. I like that. You actually, if you're home for a couple of weeks, Stu, what's the fastest you've ever created a book?
A month. Well, I did a couple of weeks.
You just totally blew it.
I know. Sorry. But no. I mean, from like first word on paper to actually selling it, in a month, but I was actually done with it in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I had to fine tune some stuff, make it pretty, all that stuff. But,
all right. Yeah. Well, that's not.
Sorry, I blew your whatever.
The 3-hour Kindle book wizard thing that we did your case study in the software where we talk about how you got, everything created in about a week.
I've written 50 books, Jim. Written 50 books.
And that was your first bestseller on Amazon and everything. I thought we were friends, man.
I've done a whole bunch of books.
No, it's cool. It's cool, man.
I just forgot that one.
Braden Whitworth is a smart man. He says, watch all the Jim Edwards Method videos. Smart.
Yeah.
Much more productive than Netflix. Joanne says she would read the Bible. I think that's a good thing to do.
Very nice.
Catch up on that. All things in moderation. Dave says, write a book about surviving on 12 rolls of toilet paper called The 12 Rolls of Coronavirus. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't get the whole toilet paper being number one on anybody's.
You can't eat it, man. You can't eat it.
It's a luxury item.
Louise says refocus and re-strategize. I think that's smart. That is definitely,
you got time.
If you wanted to take some time, get out your planning sheet. I mean, I start every day with my planning sheet, but now would be a great time. Honestly, this is no BSing. Now would be a great time to go back like it's January 1st, pick up all those great goals and stuff that you laid out and kind of see, okay, we're 2.5 months into the year. Where am I at? I mean, the year is 25% over, in case those of you who don't know how to do basic math. The year is 25% over.
Yeah, and then they fly by too. So, think of it as that time in between Christmas and New Year's. There's nothing going on. It's everybody's home, and you can get stuff done.
That feeling that you have then when nobody expects anything from you. Like you can it's like that freeing time of no one really expects me to be doing anything right now. So this is when I can just build up a head of steam. So when this is all over, I'm going to come crashing through like a screaming locomotive. That's a great, I didn't even think about that, but it's true. I mean, everybody's getting all stressed out. I would just let kind of some of that stress wash off and say, hey, you know what? For the next couple of weeks, nobody expects really anything out of me. No. I can do whatever I want. I could change my life in these next 2 weeks. In fact, if you think about what this could do for your origin story or for a sales story, there I was. Let me tell you a quick story about when I was quarantined because of the coronavirus. The whole world had shut down. We were on the brink of financial disaster. People were passing away all over the world, and everybody was sitting at home feeling like all was lost and had no idea what to do. And then I had a spark of an idea. You know what? This might be the only time in my adult life when I'm not sick, when there's not something going on where I can actually sit at home and work on something for myself. So I decided to work on Project XYZ. I decided to get up every morning at 6 and work on this for a minimum of 12 hours a day. And in those 2 weeks, I figured out this and this and this and this, and I was able to test it. And I realized that not only could I accomplish this and this and this, but in the end, I figured out how to do this amazing thing. And that's how I was able to turn the coronavirus into one of the most amazing opportunities of my life. I'm telling you, man, you could write that story. So why not write it in advance? I'm serious. I'm being 100% serious. Write that story in advance for what you are going to do over the next 2 weeks to change your life and the lives of other people.
Love that.
Did
you just pull that one out?
Dude, I yanked that straight out.
Nice. That's
just on the spot, brother. I just, I do what I can. It's kind of like you coming up with workouts. It's like, oh, you need something to do? Enjoy the burn.
Hey, the way it works.
There you go.
I get it.
Oh, and Louise said, change someone's life. I think we just changed somebody's life. Richard says you can work on copy for current or future content. Absolutely.
100%.
Ray says, clean your home office. I like that. Hey,
I need to do that.
Yeah, I need to do it too. It's not that bad though, dude. I mean, it's really, for me,
it's not bad.
You've been here before. This is not bad for me at all. It's pretty good. So if any of this, I'm just, let's get some, I need to practice this more. Let's get some social interaction. Those of you who are listening to us, in the comments down below, I want you to put in your favorite ice cream, so I know that you are listening. Okay. If you don't want to put in your favorite ice cream, then put in, if you had the next 2 weeks free to work on your business and do whatever you wanted, what would you do? Put it down in the comments down below. And if you think there's somebody who needs to hear this or see this video, then tag them right now. Tag them and share this message with them, because in our own inimitable way, I know that I'm not usually uplifting and inspirational and, motivational in that way, but I'm actually trying to be right now, even though I'm kind of grumpy.
Well, here's what I'm going to do while you all kind of figure out what you're going to do. Let me finish what Jim started with his 5 things that you should do during this, while you're in quarantine or social distancing, whatever you want to call it. He came up with don't spread it.
Oh crap. I forgot to hit record, dude.
It's recording. It says live.
It's live. It's recording on Facebook. We'll have to pull it down off of Facebook.
Oh, that's all right.
All right. Well, I'll start recording it now.
I'm recording it.
No, you're not.
It appears I am.
You weren't. No, I just hit record.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Whatever. Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, well. All right. So he said, don't spread it. Number 1, don't spread it.
Yeah. Spread ideas, not viruses.
Do something productive. I think we've all figured that out. Help somebody. That's a big one. I noticed that in my neighborhood, the kids that don't have school, they don't have sports, they don't have anything to do right now. Right. My son's one of them. He's 17.
Yeah.
And so they were all hanging out in the backyard, just throwing baseball, I think playing basketball, doing something. I mean, they weren't wasting a lot of time, but they were wasting time. I said, all right, here's the deal. 3:00 every day until school starts, working out right here in my carport.
Nice.
So right now we have 4 people joining us. Hopefully I'll get some more neighborhood kids, and it'll be a lot of fun. And
if I live near you, I'd show up.
Something done. It's going to be fun.
Sure.
Everybody's getting excited. Parents are really excited about it. So it's really fun. So get kids out of their house, and we're going to work out.
You going to charge money for the Stu Smith after school workout academy?
Nope. Free workouts.
There you go.
Free workouts. Learn something new. All right. You came up with that one. Yep. Learn something new. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And then you asked, what are you doing? And you filled this first 10 minutes with some great responses from your folks. My last one is kind of a take on do something productive, but you should relax, find some time to relax, but don't relax too much.
Yeah.
And don't waste too much time, on this or Netflix or,
right.
It's not, not the time to binge watch for a solid week.
No, it's not.
You want to take a couple hours, watch a movie? Fine. That's great. Enjoy it and relax, but don't spend 12 hours in front of a TV and then just brain dead afterwards.
Exactly. So John had a cool idea, and I really like this. Think about this. Everybody's at home, right? Everybody's kind of, again, this is a normal work day for me. Nothing has changed at all. Okay.
Nope, same here.
But he says, great time to start doing Zoom or Skype-based interviews for podcast or virtual summit or general content for social media or blogs. Chance to interact with amazing people, albeit virtually. Great networking and great value. So, there are people that are sitting at home looking for something to do that you could interview them. This would be a way to start stockpiling interviews. That's a great suggestion.
Idea. And there's a wizard for that.
There is. There are plenty of wizards for interviewing people. That's actually there's a
podcast interview wizard.
Yep. There absolutely
Come on,
is.
folks.
The podcast interview wizard, part
Get
of the
Jim
Edwards
Premium method.
Ray says, update your business strategy, yearly goals and financials. Ray says, setting up my gym so I can live workout to members at home. That's smart. So Ray owns a gym. He was on the gym boat last year.
Yeah.
He really wanted to meet you, Stu.
Yeah, but I'm too scared to get on a ship.
Right now.
Ever. My dreaded fear is being lost at sea. Do you know how many people fall off of cruise ships every year? Just
A
saying.
lot less than fall off the Grand Canyon taking a selfie. Now you're just being silly. Oh, so look at this. Stu Smith. I told several neighborhood teens, sons, friends that we're working out in my carport, outdoor weight room, 3 p.m. every day until school starts. Mandatory attendance. I like that. Carlin says, dream about vacation. Mike says, thanks for this. Currently quarantined until April 6th. I'm going to keep designing, grow my Facebook group, read more books, and spend a lot more time with my kids. That's smart. Christopher's going fishing and bird watching. That's cool. Thank you, Sal. You stay safe too. Christopher says, I want to write a book with my friend, and I think we could crank it out because we already have the expertise. It will provide massive value, and I've never seen a book like it before. Awesome. Smart. Could do your tax returns.
It's that time of year.
It's
already got mine done.
Yeah, I got somebody that does that. Yeah. Nick says, get kids started on becoming an entrepreneur. So, but do it in a productive way. I mean, don't have the kid go in the can, take the roll of toilet paper and put it up on eBay for $50. I mean, that's not cool to try and, for your kid to do that. I'm just saying, if you got some Lysol wipes, don't have them standing in front of the grocery store selling them $1 a piece per wipe. None of those things that I might have done as a child. Selling bottles of water for $5 a pop. I wouldn't do that. And $4 is the max you can get.
You know what I used to do as a kid?
What?
I would go and buy 5-cent cinnamon balls, like the atomic, you know what I'm talking about?
Fireballs.
Fireballs.
Yeah.
Buy like 50 cents worth of those. So I
sell them for a quarter.
Sell them all for a quarter, and then I go to the arcade afterwards.
We used to do that with bubble gum. We'd buy remember Bubblicious?
Oh,
so none of the kids at school had gum, so I'd sell a piece of gum for 25 cents, and we'd go to Mr. Gaddy's Pizza and play video games. That was when Defender. You remember when Defender was the game?
Classic. That and Pac-Man. Actually had a Pac-Man tournament I won.
Nice. Good job. Who knew?
That's
so
right.
April says, Bill, and you played the trombone or trumpet.
I did.
April says, build a funnel. She went nuts. Build a funnel, make a PDF, finish a book, do free coaching to help others get interested in your product, leave food on the shelf for others to eat, which is smart. Be the light in a negative world. Check on your neighbors, especially those that are in abuse. Imagine being quarantined with an abuser, so please check on them. Damn, Lord. April, that's
deep.
That is good thinking. I like that.
Yeah, you know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping we hear the great stories that come out of this.
Yeah.
Not the crappy ones. Neighbors checking on neighbors.
Yeah. If you
people out, that's great.
If you've seen something positive out of this already, please share it below.
That would be nice.
That would be really nice. Really, really nice. To hear that. All puppies, no politics, right, Stu?
Hey, it has changed my news feed.
You got a lot more likes and stuff too.
Nothing but puppies.
Yeah.
Pet stories.
Oh, here's another really smart one. Read Copywriting Secrets and cook up some lethal copy to sell your stuff so you can pay for white fluffy paper to wipe your butt. That's a great hook. That's a really good hook. Nice work. And hey, here's the thing, man. People still want to spend money. They still want to shop. They still want to scratch that itch of buying stuff. Why not have them buy something from you? I'm not pitching it. Brian pitched it. And I want you to know that right now you can get a copy of Copywriting Secrets still for free. All you have to do is pay a small shipping and handling at copywritingsecrets.com. I wasn't going to bring it up, but Brian brought it up. So
good job, Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Leanne says, I've been forced to move my studio online, which I was planning on anyway, but now it's necessary. Glad I had the basics already in place. Awesome.
That's awesome.
And this is a good example of dig your well before you're thirsty. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to talk about the conversation we had before we jumped on here. So use Author Wizards to create a blog post series. Smart, Sherry. David says, write a book. Just taught yoga. And then Leanne gave an update, said, just taught yoga to my studio virtually after having to close my studio due to quarantine. Smart. You still there, Stu?
I am here.
Okay, you got like real still, and I was like, damn, did I freeze?
Nope.
Just and listening. John says build a funnel, and then also said meditate. So those are great. Hopefully people are adding some more down below. Would love to hear what you think would be a positive. Would also love to hear anything positive you've seen come out of this experience, either now or, you can add to this later. And I also think the idea of deciding in advance, writing your story in advance of how you're going to use this experience to change your life, I think would be a huge one as well. But now, for our remaining time, I want to talk about a thought. And that thought is dig your well before you're thirsty. Okay. So Stu, before we got on here, you said, I don't understand the whole toilet paper thing because I'm always ready for this kind of a thing. What did you mean by that? Oh,
I mean, just be ready for storms or disasters or, ever since 9/11, I have been ready for something happening, whether whatever disruption it is to normal life, whether it's man-made or nature, we're ready to go. Right. And that it was nice. It was nice actually looking at everything that I have done over the years. And, I said, well, what do we need? And I was like, you don't really need a whole lot. So, and I'd like to address some basic things about prepping just real quick. I want to share this, just not going nuts. You don't need 50,000 rounds of ammo. I've had so many people reach out to me like, hey, if we know anybody that's ready, it's you, blah, blah, blah. But you don't have to spend a lot of money to be ready for this. So people are like, oh, you got to have a lot of money to do this. You don't. What you need to do is understand that to be ready for pretty much anything, you better have at least 3 weeks worth of food in your house. You can do that with canned stuff. You can do that with a bag of rice. You can do that with a few bags of dried beans. So it doesn't mean that you go out and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars buying freeze-dried food. Right. What it means is that we use this as a learning experience moving forward. And we say, okay, look, if anything were to happen, if I were to lose my job, if I were to lose my income, if we were to have a quarantine situation, a natural disaster, something like that, could we survive for 3 weeks or a month? What would it take? And then as you're going grocery shopping, look for stuff that's on sale. A 25-pound bag of rice goes a long way. A bunch of dried beans goes a long way. The 5 for $1 canned corn that they're getting rid of when they're doing all that stuff, that's the stuff that you grab and then you start rotating and doing this. It does not cost a lot of money. It just takes learning and then looking forward. So I would just tell you, if you've been caught flat-footed this time, then use this as a learning experience because it will happen again. In 2008, we had the financial crisis. This is as bad as far as the stock market is concerned right now, is as bad as far as I can remember as what happened in 2008. I mean, the only thing I keep saying is just don't look at it. And if you sell, you lose. Chances are it'll come back. I'm not giving advice. I'm not giving medical advice. Don't listen to me for a certain thing. Consult with your veterinarian or your tax preparer or other professional. I'm just telling you that there are things that you can do to get ready. When toilet paper is cheap again, and it's going to take a while, but when it's cheap again, grab an extra one, stick it in the back of the closet. Just get ready for next time because there is always going to be a next time. And the other thing with everything going so fast in our society now with communication and how people can freak out, we're going to see these dips and these things happen with speed that we never would have seen when we were kids, Stu. This would have taken months to unfold when we were kids just because there was only the news at night and they would have said, hey, there's maybe this flu from China and people are getting it. And it was more time to digest what was going on and prepare. Now, with the way things are with social media, you got to be prepared for stuff like this to happen more frequently because that's a good point because it does enhance the knee-jerk reaction.
Yes.
of everything. Right. So,
I
mean, it can be a good thing too, that it might save a lot of lives, but it can also be, it can catch you unprepared quickly.
Right. And didn't mean that in any way, shape, or form, saying that anybody, I'm discounting this or saying this isn't a big deal, because it is a big deal. I'm worried about my parents, who are both over 80.
100%.
It's, but there are things you can do to mitigate this. Like when I told my mom a month ago, I said, Mom, you live in an old folks home, or excuse me, assisted living facility, where everybody goes to these common areas for every meal of the day. I said, Mom, you need to have at least 3 weeks worth of food in your place, so that you wouldn't have to leave your apartment for the next 2 to 3 weeks if you had to. And you better go do it now before everybody starts buying up all the food. And 2 days ago, she said to me, I'm really glad that I went and did that when the stores weren't crowded and they had the stuff that we needed. So it's just being ready, looking ahead. And there's stuff we could talk about that in business too, forecasting things and just paying attention. But I'll just leave you with this final thought, and then I'll let Stu close us out. But everything goes in cycles. There's nothing new. This is human behavior. This is the cycle of disease and economics and everybody reacting to stuff. This has happened before. It's going to happen again. And this is called human beings reacting emotionally, which is what we do. This is what people do. I'm not making a judgment, good or bad or indifferent. I'm just saying this is what happens. And if you can control your emotions and be able to look at the situation, then you can react better and anticipate, rather than being at the effect of what's going on, which is you've got one roll of toilet paper to last you for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
which kind of suck.
That would. My take is on this. I've have several online clients that are in Europe, and they are now, France, Italy, they are now quarantined in their home, like cannot leave their homes.
Like can't leave the building, couldn't go out in your yard?
You'll get a ticket.
Wow.
If you go out in the yard. So it is that bad there with what they're doing. And if we can avoid that, that will be significant. Yeah. So, take it seriously and try not to get sick. And if you even are sick, just stay at home. So it ends with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were talking about they may have to do that for 8 weeks. That's a long time. So even if you are behind the power curve right now, you can make up for it, because it hasn't gotten that bad yet.
Yeah.
We are at the very beginning of bad, and hopefully, this thing can flatten out real quick on cases just by doing these procedures that's going on. So that's my 2 cents. But the last thing you should do, I think, is get coronavirus advice from a fitness writer and a sales copy wizard maker. We haven't talked anything about coronavirus and stuff. I'm talking about what you should do if you're quarantined and stuff. I wouldn't. Only advice I give you is, don't blow snot at people. And I mean, for God's sake, don't touch a door, a public toilet, and rub your eyes. Just give my little disclosure there on the back end. Disclaimer. I like disclosure better. So anyway, we want you guys to be safe. And we really want to know, what are you planning to do to make this one of the most productive and best times of your life, not most terrible thing that you look back on like being scarred. You look back that this was really a time when you took your life in a new and better direction. Anything that you have seen or experienced that is positive that you want to share and uplifting, definitely please do that. And just stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. So great job, Stu. Until next time. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody.